Today's press conference, Coach Swinney will have some opening comments, then we'll go to questions in the room and go to questions virtually at the end if time permits. As always, we're being joined by the audience on Clemson Plus, Fox Carolina on 105.5 The Roar. So we would appreciate it if y'all would speak up so everybody can hear your questions. Coach, when you're ready, take it away.
Does that mean my YouTube TV's not going to work anymore? Just finally figured that whole thing out. I get all kind of stuff on that. I don't have that one. I got YouTube TV. But anyway, good morning. Hope everybody's good. We're ready to get back in the fight around here. Been a good open date for us. Last week was a great week, great prep. Proud of the guys, how they responded, got back to work. Also had an opportunity to go serve last week. We went and spent a day, helping build the Habitat home that's over on Bowman Field there. So that was a great thing for our guys to be able to experience, and got to meet the homeowner as well. So that was a cool again, opportunity for everyone to just go serve. But a good week, good weekend, and we got some guys that were definitely in a better spot today than we would have been had we played this past weekend from an injury standpoint. I know you guys are going to ask about a lot of people, but we'll put out a report on Thursday and kind of see where we are. We obviously are just coming off one day of practice so far this week, but today and tomorrow we'll ramp it up and really. See who's game ready and who's still got some work to do, and then we'll report that on Thursday. But again, proud of our guys. There's been certainly some disappointment this season, but also a lot of good, a lot of positives and things that I've seen within our team. TJ Parker got married last week, so that's an awesome thing. And, again, the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to go this year. But, if he doesn't come to Clemson, he doesn't meet his precious wife, Asia. So, really a cool moment for him, and congratulations to them. But, again, proud of how the guys have gotten back to work. And homecoming this week, I know there's a lot going on there. And we'll go and participate with Tigerama like we always have this week. So hopefully we'll have a good crowd for that. I know we've got a lot of rain this week, so I'm not sure how that's going to impact some of the things going on campus. But I know the students are resilient, and they'll figure out a way to make it a great week. But it looks like the weekend is going to be beautiful. So it should be a great day for some football. And as far as our team and our opponent. We've got, I guess, about 33 days left in our season, so it's crazy. It's flown by, and thankful that we still got, opportunity to go compete, and thankful that we have an opportunity to still, work to be the best version of ourselves, and have an opportunity to go have the best possible finish that we can have. And but it doesn't get any easier. We've got another great opponent coming in here in Duke this weekend. I think one of the best executing offenses in the country, for sure. They really execute at a high level. They play well together, and starts with this quarterback. I mean, he's elite. He is an elite player. I did not know much about him prior to him coming to Duke. Just hadn't seen him very much on tape, but he's a special player. They do a nice job. Again, they're well coordinated, and they execute at a very high level. You give them a patch of grass, they take it. They pretty much got an RPO built into about everything they do. They do a nice job of moving him, on different launch points, whether it be in the pocket, sprint outs, boots off of play action. They take, 5, 6, 7 shots a game. So they're an aggressive offense and an aggressive defense. But just very impressed with how they've played this year, coming off a tough loss against Georgia Tech, where they turned it over going in on the one, and then had another goal line stop on the one. They had to settle for a field goal. So I know they feel like they maybe missed an opportunity there. But this is, again, really good offense. They play well together up front. Receivers are very good players, very good skill, good backs. And, number 18 for them is is probably one of the better receivers that I've seen. He's an elite route runner. He's got great ball skills. 7 and 2 outstanding players. Their tight end 85 is a guy that's very crafty, whether it be setting the edge for his quarterback to get out, or how they use him in the play action game. So just again, really good offense. 460 something yards a game. They're 18th in the nation, and they're overall 3rd in passing. I think Mensa is 2nd in the nation in passing. So we got our hands full with this group. We got to play. We got to play well. We got to execute at a high level. We've got to eliminate the big play bus that we had in our last outing. We really have not done that. That's something that we've got to get back on track. We've got to find a way to take the ball away, win the line of scrimmage, and do a good job out on the perimeter against these guys, because they do a nice job of attacking those areas. And then over on the other side, same thing about their offense. Very aggressive defense, 4-down group, downhill linebackers, a lot of man coverage, a lot of tight coverage. They will mix it up, but from an identity standpoint, they're a group that wants to force the issue. So, this will be a team that's coming in here with a really good front. I think 97 and 7 are 2 of the better ends that we've seen. They can get after the passer. 4 inside is one of the bigger twitchy guys that we've played against. I really like this linebacker group. They got an All-American at corner in Rivers. He's an excellent player. And just a well-coached group. So aggressive all across the board, all 3 phases, and a team that will have to execute at a high level and play complementary football. We've won 2 out of our last 3 games, and in those 2 games we played well, we executed well, we played complementary football, and in our last outing we didn't do that. And so we got another opportunity this week, and that's what it's going to take to win the ball game. And with that, I'll take your questions.
Did he practice at all yesterday?
He did.
With the offensive line and some of the injuries there, just talk about the shuffling and some other guys that might have opportunities.
Yeah, it's been frustrating. I mean, again, you look at this group right here that we're getting ready to play. They're a very veteran group up front, but all their backups they got 3 freshmen and a sophomore is in their backup group, but they really have had a lot of continuity there. And we've had we've had a lack of continuity for sure, and we've had to mix and match. Tristan has missed a good amount of time. Sadler has had some ups and downs. Obviously, Walker, has been he's been available for a couple games, but really just available, not really 100% version of himself. So I feel like he's going to be closer to that this week. I don't know if Walker's ever 100%, but 85% of Walker's is probably about as good as you're going to get with him. A lot of things that he's dealt with in his career. Elijah, that's been a big piece that we've been missing, but we still got enough, and we've just got to play well together. And we got a great week of practice ahead, and we got to take what we got and we got to make it work. Blake has been very, very steady for us. So we'll see, but hopefully we'll get some good news on Elijah this week as they reevaluate him and for what the rest of the season looks like for him.
And Sadler was pretty good news generally.
Yeah, best case scenario. Best case scenario. I'd say there's a chance. We'll see, but again, big day today, tomorrow, and Thursday, but definitely best case scenario for him and Wesco. Wesco was a really scary injury, and so I'm just thankful. That was a tough Sunday, at the hospital with his family, and but he's again, like I said, it was best case, especially compared to what he could have been dealing with, and best case for Sadler too, from what we initially thought on the field. So he's not a long-term situation.
Was Cade a full participant yesterday or limited?
He did everything we asked him to do last night.
Any other questions for Coach?
on an open day like that, how much self-scouting do you do kind of when you have that one open week where you give everybody some time off, I'm sure. But, how much self-scouting do you do and, trying to say, hey, we still got time to fix some of these things?
Yeah, I mean, we self-scout ourselves every week. Internally, offense self-scout themselves. We got everything's on computer and all that stuff. But then we crossover self-scout every 3 games. That's something that we do, and so certainly took a lot of time last week to do that. Defense really studies our offense studies the defense, and we cross over. As again, we've done that for years and years around here. It's always been one of the more helpful things, and then we do that to prepare for each opponent too. That's something we do weekly. Our defensive staff studies the opponent's defense, and our offensive staff studies the opponent's offense to give collaboration there. That's how you use your support staff and take advantage of your resources. So I would think most teams do that have the personnel to do it. But definitely a big self-scout, and we've already done it this year. So you kind of go back and you look at what the first self-scout was and how have you done since then? What do you still need to address or whatever? Whether it's personnel or scheme or tendencies, tells, whatever that may be. That's always a part of the process that you go through.
Have you seen a difference in CV, especially the way he played second half, or even broadly across the quarterback room offense, just with the little shot in the arm in the second half?
Yeah, I think that was huge for him. I mean, again, he just hasn't played in a game on the line situation. It's just how it's gone for him last year with as a redshirt freshman, and really his first opportunity was the 2 last year. He got a ton of reps, and so again, we've seen a lot of progress. We practice this game way more than you play it. You don't play the game very often. You practice, 98% of the time, and you play about 2%. So, he's done the work, and he's gotten better, and we've seen it, all throughout. But you want to see him go play, and he just hadn't had a lot of opportunity. Again, a lot of close games last year, and then this year, didn't get off to the start we wanted. Some tight games, and then he got a chance to go play in two out of the last 3 games he's played, but 2 out of the last 3 that we won. When he went in, we pretty much had those games, under control. So not really the stress of game on the line, as opposed to now you got to go start and, you got to battle through the maybe some success, some adversity, whatever in the course of a game. And I thought he did a nice job. I don't think we did a great job of helping him in some areas, but I thought, for this kid to go out there in that situation and, we're 29 of 42 and 4 or 5 drops, and I thought he competed his butt off, and that's people think it's easy it's not easy to do. The guy hadn't played, so I was proud of him, and I think that's given him a big shot in the arm, because now he's got something he can kind of hang his hat on, and that's tangible, not just something that he can go watch a great practice tape and a great team pass period or a great skelly period or a great scrimmage, that nobody else sees. He's got something that he can Google, and so that's a different feeling for him. I think that gives him some confidence. He's a young player, and proud of him.
Dabo, you mentioned that Wesco flew to Pittsburgh to see a doctor up there. Just curious, was that the same neurosurgeon that performed the surgery on Justin several years ago? Yeah,
Dr. Okonkwo, a really sharp guy. He's a guy. Dr. Kanos here in Greenville, who's amazing, and I think both of those guys collaborated. And so, you just want to make sure that you got the same information, and the message was basically the same from both doctors. They're all on the same page, and so I think they've got a good plan going forward on what he needs to do. And like I said, I think everybody realizes he's a very fortunate guy, because it could have been a lot worse. And it's not a situation like Justin. Justin had a fracture. Mike Williams had a fracture, and Justin was a totally different situation. But again, best case scenario for him. And, you know, he's doing good. But he went up with his dad yesterday and our trainers. And so they've got a good plan going forward. And you know, again, I hate it that he can't play this season. And you know, we'll be very cautious with him in the spring. You know, anticipate him being able to do everything as far as training and running and all that type of stuff. But you know, we won't let him. You know, they'll keep him from any type of contact and that type of stuff until he's ready to go next fall. So you know, everything is positive at this point, but you know, he's still got to go through his process of what he's got to do to get back and cleared to go play football.
The announcement was just made about the possibility of the Palmetto Bowl being on Black Friday instead of the traditional Saturday. What do you think about that change?
Say that again.
Yeah, the Palmetto Bowl might be on Black Friday now instead of the traditional
This year?
Saturday. Not this year.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
upcoming year.
I mean, I don't know. You know, they've asked me about that here many times. I've always voted for it on Saturday here. That's my vote for a lot of reasons that I won't get back into. We just need to beat Duke this week. But if they want to move it, that's up to them.
Jaden Lucas didn't play any defensive snaps last game. Where's kind of rotation-wise?
Yeah, just competing every day, you know. And I thought, you know, Ashton played well. I thought Avion played well. I thought both of those guys, honestly, they both of them have had 3 really good games in a row. I think they're playing, you know, at a high level for us right now. And especially Ashton has kind of really settled in and is playing with a lot of confidence. So it's been good, but just, you know, nothing other than just, I guess Mike just didn't put him in last week, you know, with how those guys were playing.
At safety, what's been the biggest obstacle to getting more of the depth sort of going and in the rotation?
Biggest obstacle, just, you know, they're just playing the guys they think give us the best chance to win. That's really it.
Deeper into the season, is there anyone that's maybe behind the scenes starting to stand out as someone that could maybe help this program down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got several of those guys. You know, talked about 2 of them last night in Blanchard and Brooking. You know, those are 2 guys that we think are going to be good players for us that we've held. You know, we've seen some good things from some of these other young guys around here. You know, we like our some of y'all, you know, y'all have seen. I mean, Benton Core's just a redshirt freshman, but we certainly think he's got a bright future ahead. Logan Anderson is a kid that he's a kid that we think has a chance to be a good player. Not many people know much about. So we got several guys like that all throughout the roster.
You said on your radio show yesterday that you wish some of the younger running backs got into the rotation a little bit more. I guess what was preventing them, I guess, from getting more snaps out of you?
Yeah, probably didn't do a good job of managing the reps, you know. And again, I think sometimes coaches get caught up into the moment and you know, just got to do a better job of really committing to just the rotation at this point, you know, because we feel like those guys can go play. You know, early in the year, a little different situation. But now where we are, I mean, these guys have demonstrated that they can go and they know what they're doing, and we just got to do a good job of going into it with a good rotation in mind and committing to it.
TJ Moore coming off